The Atlanta Braves dropped Game 2 of the series to the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Major League Baseball's Umpire Association, 3-1. Let's talk about it.
This is the Braves Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Atlanta Braves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into the Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com. You can follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. That's Jake Mastroianni, host of Locked On Braves. Follow him on social media at Shortstop Ball. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Braves, wherever you get your podcast. Jake has a ton of content coming up now that the season's wrapping up on Sunday. But before we get to that, Jake, we have to talk about Atlanta's 3-1 loss to the Pittsburgh Pirates, technically in the rule book, but with an assist from the Major League Baseball Umpires Association. And there's two specific incidents that I think are going to be the big talking points coming out of this game.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, so the first one, the most egregious one, is Matt Olson is called out on interference with catcher Henry Davis, trying to catch a foul pop-up on the right-hand side. And here's the thing. I think there's two things that bother me about this. Okay. Here's the hard part everybody has to understand. The call was technically correct. Any sort of contact between a fielder and a batter or a runner results in interference if that was the fielder trying to make the play. Whether or not it was material to the play, whether or not, that didn't stop Henry Davis from getting to the ball in time, but that is still technically the correct call. But it also sucks because Matt Olson, the ball just got popped up. He's looking for the ball right after a swing. And on the replay, you can see this. Henry Davis intentionally runs into him to create the contact. Was he justified in getting thrown out of this game for that?
Yeah, I think so. And part of it too is it's game 161. Matt Olson plays every day. So it's hey, why not I just take half the game off? It's part of it. But he was hot. I mean, he was going to get tossed originally, had Snit not come out there, had Acuna not come out there and pulled him away. I think
I love that part.
I thought Matt had already made it up in his mind. I'm getting tossed over this. This is ridiculous. It's unbelievable. I was not trying to interfere. And like you said, I know we're only talking about the first one, but both of these are technically, I think you could argue were the correct calls, but there's also the spirit of the game too. And that why they were called is not why the rule is implemented. Take it all the way back to the wild card game with the infield fly rule. And that one, I don't even know if that was technically correct. I mean, you got to be settled under the baseball, not to bring up, really bad times in history, but
please don't.
It's still it's the spirit of the game too. Matt Olson was not trying to interfere with the catcher so that he couldn't make a catch. Jerkson Profar was not intentionally taking too long to get into the box. The pitcher wasn't even on the rubber. What the rules were meant to do are not what they were trying. The players weren't trying to violate the spirit of the game. And that's my biggest issue with this. Is this umpire crew just made it about them. I mean, the Brock Ballou guy behind home plate. I mean, my word, guy, it's game 161 in a meaningless game. And you're over here making decisions on technicalities, of things that don't really involve what should matter, the game. It's just, that's what's frustrating. And the Mark Wegner guy, I know he's not going to, because the MLB Umpires Association, they put up with everything. Angel Hernandez had a job for so many years.
Yep.
But I mean, he's initiating contact with Brian Snitker. That always drives me crazy. A manager or a player, if a manager or a player sniffs on an umpire, they're getting fined, they're getting ejected. Mark Wegner's initiating contact. That's why I think Brian Snitker got even more enraged. I've never seen Brian Snitker that upset. And it's because he was trying to get to the other umpire, and Brian Wegner's getting in front of him, but also just bumping him. And I wish umpires would see the same level of punishment for when they do that as when a player or a coach does it too. Brian Snitker's trying to talk to the guy that made the call. I get they're trying to deflect, but to physically put yourself in front of somebody and bump them like that, I don't like that. And that always bothers me. And Mark Wagner did it twice in there. I've never seen Smith that mad. I've never seen Matt Olson that mad. And again, for something that was technically by the rule, maybe the right call, but the spirit of the game is, I think, what makes me so upset about it, and probably what made Matt Olson and Brian Snitker so upset about it. It did not affect that play at all. He still got there with the opportunity to catch it. What I would also like to see, maybe you see this with all the great angles that you get to see, did he initially, when he saw the contact, did he raise up a hand and call obstruction immediately? Or did he call it after the catcher dropped the baseball? I still haven't seen an angle that gave me that. That would make me even more upset if he waited until after the catcher dropped it. You call it immediately. Okay, I still think it's a bad call, but at least you made that determination right then. But if he waited until the catcher dropped it and then called it, which based on Matt Olson's reaction, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah,
that's even worse. So umpires are bad. We're trying to get rid of them as much as we can. You got the ABS system coming next year. I'm not all for full robots, but just an atrocious night. But as I said before we jumped on, it at least gave us something to talk about and what was otherwise a pretty uneventful game.
Yeah, absolutely. The wild thing for me on Mark Wagner is Snit's been thrown out 3 times all season. 2 of them have been by Mark Wagner, which I always notice little things like that because that makes it feel to me like it's possible he has some sort of issue. And like you mentioned, the bumping Atlanta. You know how many games he's done for the Braves this year as the crew chief? As the crew chief. Today is this is the what is it? The 11th game all year that he's done. And he's thrown out Snit twice now.
Yeah, feels personal.
Just kind of blows my mind. Little personal there. Really kind of frustrating. The second one that you mentioned, the Jurickson Profar one. Profar's in the box at 8 seconds, facing facing the pitcher. The pitcher's not on the rubber. And I think that's a thing that they should have, both of these, discretion is needed here. I'd argue that Profar was in the box with his bat up, looking at the pitcher. His back leg, he hadn't stepped all the way forward, but he's in the box.
Yeah. The
pitcher's not on the rubber. So it's hard for the batter to not be ready at 8 seconds. Just kind of frustrating there. Okay. Outside of that terrible umpiring, quiet game for the Braves. Another one where they don't draw any walks. And whenever you see a young flamethrower, in this case, Bubba Chandler, who I thought, the stuff was as advertised, 5 2/3, 1 run on 4 hits, no walks, obviously 6 strikeouts. Just kind of odd to see this new look Braves offense not draw a single walk in a game. And I don't know, a little bit frustrating for me, simply because I think 1, you're banking on a little bit of that help from a young pitcher, but 2, that's all we've heard about all year is how Atlanta is trying to draw more walks, get deeper into counts. They put 86 pitches on Bubba Chandler and almost 6 full innings. I think I'm just a little frustrated with the effort on the offensive side tonight.
Yeah, and you just wonder if they did finally, check out. That winning streak kind of kept them afloat and gave them something, to fight for, continue to fight for. But you look at these past 4 games now that they've had, they scored 3 runs in that win against the Nationals, the last win. Then they only scored 3 runs in the next game in a loss, scored 3 runs on Friday, 1 run tonight. Offense has just kind of sputtered in these last 4 games. You're getting all these solo home runs that you're getting. So again, I wonder if maybe after that winning streak, were just okay, that was fun. Now let's just kind of get to the offseason, which the Pirates got nothing to play for either. So, I mean, that's not necessarily a fair excuse there, but offense has very much been lackluster the past 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, just kind of frustrated there. All right. In just a minute, when we come back, I want to talk about the player of the game, a little bit of the larger context behind what he did, and some of the other good stuff from this game. We're going to find some good stuff. We'll do that next, right here on the Braves Postcast. Fellas, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis before. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rougiette Go Long. Because Rougiette Go Long is not just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula. So you can both get hard and go the distance. And the effects last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day, even through a rain delay. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor. It's 100% online. And if you're prescribed, that treatment ships discreetly right to your door. So if you're ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom, head to Rougiette.com, Rugiet.com, and use promo code Locked on MLB for 15% off your first order. That's Rougiette.com, Rugiet.com, promo code Locked on MLB. Make sure to use our code so they know we sent you. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I enjoy using FanDuel because it fits however you want to bet that day, right? Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even just jumping in live as the action unfolds. Those national exclusive games, the Sunday nights, the Monday nights, the Thursday nights, those are the fun ones like that. Makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team, keeping it on your fantasy lineup, or just looking for something that's not a bad baseball team. It's quick, it's easy, it's the best way to add a little more energy to Sunday. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, Jake. So, as you mentioned earlier, this one's kind of tough. 3-1 loss by the Braves. But Drake Baldwin gets a triple and a double in his first 2 at-bats tonight. And I think that we maybe sometimes are missing a little bit of context as to exactly how good Drake Baldwin has been this year. And friend of the show, CJ Nikowski, had a great tweet on social media today. A nice chart, beautiful chart that he made. He likes making his charts. That Drake Baldwin, going into tonight's game, has the second highest 2-strike OPS in all of baseball. Like, not among rookies. Every qualified player in baseball. Highest batting average by a rookie catcher since Buster Posey in 2010. Second highest batting average with runners in scoring position by a rookie catcher in the last 15 seasons. Obviously, hitting for the cycle would have been the moment that would have solidified Rookie of the Year, but it kind of still feels like he's there, isn't he? Like he's got it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to our friends over at FanDuel, and I haven't checked today, so maybe they're up with the program now, but I think it's pretty clearly, and they do still have Cade Horton as the favorite over on FanDuel, but I just don't see how. Like, you look at the full picture, I don't see how Drake Baldwin doesn't win when he has more F WAR and B WAR than Cade Horton, which I understand pitchers to hitters there, but I mean, by a statistic that a lot of people today judge player on how good they are, he's better. And you just look at what he's done, being a position player, catching all these different pitchers that he's had to catch this year. I think it's a slam dunk, but I'm obviously, very biased in this decision.
We're totally impartial, aren't we? Like,
yeah.
Why would we be biased on this?
I mean, CJ makes a good point too, though. I mean, you also had Cade Horton behind a really good defense, maybe one of the best defenses in baseball. They also had him going 5 and flying. Like he wasn't seeing a lineup a third time through. Not taking anything away from Cade Horton, and what he did in that second half was huge for the Cubs. But the point that Stephen P makes, that's the one I've been making a lot here lately too. The precedent was set in 2022 when Spencer Strider had more F WAR than Michael Harris and still didn't win the award. And the reasoning was because Michael Harris was an everyday player. So you can't have Spencer Strider not win it in 2022. And I was all on board with Michael Harris. I understood the reason why Michael Harris won it, but you can't have Spencer Strider not win it in 2022 and then have Cade Horton win it in 2025 when Drake Baldwin overall, at least according to WAR, was the better player. So again, I'm perplexed. I think it's probably just recency bias in what Cade Horton has done in the second half, or why the odds are what they are. But I'm hoping voters sit back and look at the full picture and say, this guy was here from beginning to end, playing a demanding position, and was amazing.
I think the thing you're forgetting here is that Major League Baseball hates the Braves. So that's the thing you're forgetting here. Final bow on the interference call and the catcher thing. I was texting a practicing baseball umpire, Eric Slaughter of 929 The Game, and he said the same thing that you did, Jake. The key to the play would be, did the umpire immediately signal interference? You can't wait until the play is over. So he also agreed that the way the rule is written, you have to call that. You don't have an option. You have to call it. But his question was also, did they immediately call it or did they wait on that? So shout out to Eric for getting back to me so quickly during his evening. Okay. Last thing here is final game of the season tomorrow. Charlie Morton takes the mound. And when he pitches, this will be, Atlanta will tie the record for most pitchers used in a season. What kind of expectations do we have here, right? Like, is this, like, part of me thinks it's literally going to be, he pitches a clean inning, and then if they're smart, they bring him back out for the second to face one batter and then lift him in the inning just so he gets that moment where everybody gets to cheer him and he's the only guy walking off the field. But at the same time, part of me wonders, is he just going to have a vintage Morton performance and go like 4 scoreless, and then Sale's going to come out and close the final 5, and it'll be a Braves win and Sale will get a save? Part of me just wonders if that's what we're in for. What are your expectations for Charlie Morton tomorrow?
I don't know that I have expectations. My hope is that he pitches a couple of clean frames and they're able to bring him out in the middle of an inning and give him that standing ovation, whether it's 1+, 2+, 3+. I mean, you did pitch Iglesias tonight. You pitched Kenley, probably your better relievers right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you are kind of paving the way that it's just Morton and Sale tomorrow, that you get 4 out of one, 5 out of the other, something like that. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool way to end the season. But I think you just got to be very careful with Morton. And if at any point it looks like he's starting to struggle, last thing you want is having to pull him because he's doing poorly.
Yeah,
right?
True.
So you just make sure, be very cautious of that and take him out at the right moment. That's really all I care about on Sunday.
Yeah, me too. Like, I want him to, I don't want to just like the first at bat to strike out and they yank him. But like, at the same time, like I do want it to be on the shorter side so that you can get him before something poor happens. And I do want the Braves to win. I just feel like you need to close the season with a victory. So we'll see if that happens. Reminder, last postcast of the year is going to be tomorrow after that game. Both of us will be here for as long as we can to kind of just break down what happened in the game and kind of our thoughts on the season as a whole. Do us a favor, if you're listening on audio, 5-star review, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast would be great. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. So also subscribe to Locked On Sports Atlanta. They'll have a lot of content tomorrow after the Falcons play. We can see if Michael Penix can actually, complete a pass downfield. That would be awesome. For Jake Mastroianni, I'm Lindsay Crosby. This has been the Braves Postcast.